out like the other day, just and I don't mind if this is on the internet. Reached out the other day to a couple of buddies who run the math and science department at a high school, and I'm thinking like, yeah, I kind of want to do older age, you know.
Okay.
And I got a message back the next day, and it's like, yeah, for the start of next school year, we're recruiting for this and this in
Oh, cool.
maths, and I say maths now,
Mm.
especially when the boss says maths. I'll say maths as well. And
It's not
I'm
wrong.
like, and I'm
Grammatically not wrong.
yeah, you know, the case has been made. Mathematics, we say that, but we don't say maths.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'm kind of on board. And you know, he said like, yeah, we're recruiting for these, and we're already friends. Not him. I'm me talking now. We're already
Okay.
friends, and I worked there. My first job off the boat, I was a failure all through and through. Didn't know how to handle a
Okay.
class. Didn't know what a curriculum was. But I sent this message just like, yeah, it's been 13 years. A smart person can learn a lot in 13 years. Like, I know how to handle a classroom. I'd like to try again at this school.
Cool.
I like to be around some friends and stuff. And it just got me thinking, man, if I don't want to stay at my current job. So if I get a new job at a place that would be better and frankly pays a little bit more, even at first year salary, the rest of this year would just be like, I don't give a fuck, man. I just don't care.
Yeah, I know that, but then you got to worry. You really got to be careful about burning bridges.
I know. It's small town.
I've watched people. Well, it's a small place, small community. Word gets around.
Yeah.
I've watched it happen. Some people are like, no, I'm done with this place. I'm never coming back, and they just burn it all down.
Yeah.
2 years later, they're right back there again, apologizing.
Yeah.
And it does, and it. If they're lucky, the apology takes, and if they're not, they're in trouble because people don't forget.
Yeah, and you get kind of
It happens.
blacklisted too. You know, they talk to each other. They're like, okay, speaking of this person, you know.
That's what I'm talking about.
But, you know, me being the person I am, I'm not the kind of person that would be like, fuck you, I'm out of here. You know, it was just like, nah, you know, I just feel like there may need to be a change. You know, I got the gift of gab. I can use a silver tongue, you know. And even though it's like, yeah, I know things weren't working well between us, but I just, even with that, I would sign up for another year. I just want to go on somewhere else.
Sure.
So there's nothing set in stone, but I just worked on a resume and I, you know, like got it all printed out. I'm like, yeah, this is a good step in the right direction.
It never hurts to update those things regardless. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, not much to update either, you know, but like, it's just like, hey, science job, science and math job. All right. Those are the last two.
That's
all.
nice.
That's all I'm putting on there.
it's nice.
So it feels good. But hey, dude, we're on the internet.
We're on some internets.
Both of us
Nice. A series of tubes. All right, welcome to Critters in Taiwan, a D&D podcast about Critical Role, where a bunch of nerdy-ass voice actors sit around and play Dungeons & Dragons. I am Ben in Kaohsiung,
I'm Tim in Taichung.
and we are Critters in Taiwan. Temperature dropped down here, man. How's it up there in Taichung?
It went up a bit.
Ooh,
Today and
weird.
yesterday were kind of summery.
it's like, I'm just looking right now. It is about 20 degrees down here on the Celsius scale.
I think we're about the same here. You know, when I have my window open, so I might hear a truck again tonight.
Yeah, that's cool in Kaohsiung. Kaohsiung gets, I've seen single digits in Kaohsiung once or twice in the past 20 years. So it doesn't happen very often.
Perhaps last year?
No, the coldest it ever went last year was 12.
I think we got down to 10.
Yeah, we got down to 12 degrees last
But
year.
I've
That was like
seen
one
it at
night.
9, like 8 years ago or something.
Yeah, I saw 9
Here.
degrees once in Kaohsiung years and years and years ago. I don't remember when it was, but it was, People were losing their minds.
I remember.
Anyway,
I believe it was last year, where like if you go to the top of Taipei, it was snowing up there, but by the time it got to the bottom, it was
it was
melted.
melted. Yeah. Yeah, that happens.
So it was kind of like a magical date moment if you happen to be up there.
Yeah, a weird one. So it's it's nice and chilly down here. Driving is fun. Scooting around. It's I'm watching. I'm still in shorts and t-shirt, and everybody around me like is in full on down parka, North Face jackets, and
It's like, why are you wearing all this shit? Because it's
gloves. I'm like,
December. it's not cold.
It's 20 degrees out, guys. It's not 5. It's 20.
It's a brisk summer day.
Yeah.
I'll never get
Anyway.
it. I'm out there in my shorts, my tank top after the gym, and still wet from the gym because I'm sweating. And I'm like sitting out there fine. Everybody's all scarfed up and stuff. I'm like, aren't you sweating under there? We're like, no,
don't
it's
get it.
December. It's like, it doesn't. Oh.
Yeah.
There's a
Dress for the weather,
disconnect.
not the month.
Yep.
Hey, listen, dude. Tonight we're talking about this. I want to get to this because it's been bugging me a little bit. Tonight we're talking about campaign 3 of Critical Role, their third campaign. Now, episode number 80, The Eve of the Red Moon.
Well, that's a little presumptuous.
That's what I'd like to talk to you about. I feel like this episode was named prematurely.
Yeah.
I feel like, hey, these might be pre-recorded, and somebody might know what's happening next week.
Oh, what? Who thought that?
Yeah. It's weird, man. I would never, like, watching this episode without, like, okay, so I watch it Friday when it comes out, and then I watch it again on Sunday when it's, to review everything. And we don't know the names of things until Tuesday, which is today.
For us,
we
this
don't
is
know the
Tuesday,
name because
this is
that's when they
Taiwan.
name it. Yeah, and Tuesday in Taiwan, Monday night. They release it on YouTube with a name.
Oh, shit.
So we watch the episode without knowing what the title is. So I'm like, okay, right. They're done. They finished all of this little team building thing in the Feywild. They're going to be heading back to the main arc soon. But somebody who is just watching this for the very first time and clicks on that YouTube link and goes, ooh, they're going to the moon now. They watched the entire episode and they didn't go to the moon. It's very strange. It's a very strange title for an episode that doesn't have anything to do with the red moon.
Yeah. I mean, they talk about it for a moment.
Yeah.
I think Orm was the one, like, in the second half. He's like, well, I guess, like, we got to continue to. I think it was when they were talking about, fuck, this is a point that I have here, too. I don't know if I should say it or if I should.
No, save it then.
Okay. But yeah, it does come up a little bit.
It does. It does.
As far as that is definitely the next move they're going to do.
Well, of course it is. It was always going to be right up until the episode 78.
Yeah,
it was going to be the next move. And then Ashton does the thing, and then they like, hey, we better talk about shit, and they go to the Feywild. So yeah.
It's like
it was always going to be the next move.
Yeah, so when did they decide? Like, the last episode could have been called, the eve of the red moon or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I thought they were going to finish the whole thing. I didn't expect this third trial to be so 2 hours long.
Yeah.
I figured they're going to go through it as quickly as the other two. Just like, all right, let's play a little video game. Let's get Travis happy and then move on with the story, Now what they should do is do a shopping episode before they head up to the moon. So Travis gets all pissed off.
Yeah. Well, they did pick up a couple of great items here. So
a lot. There was a lot of
three
paper.
big ones.
Yeah.
Oof. Okay, we should talk about those giant pieces of paper. Why don't we just get into some rollies right away then?
Okay, real quick though, I just checked to see if we had comments. We have one comment from.
We do. Intoxicated Conqueror, I believe.
Yes.
No, is it?
The Conqueror.
I looked at it. I looked at it earlier today, and thank you for reminding me. I'm going to pull that up right now.
It was just a nice comment, and I just.
It was a very
too.
sweet comment.
Thank you very much.
I do believe it is Intoxicated Conqueror. Yes, episode 79 may be my favorite of C3. I had so much fun watching this. I felt as excited as I was experiencing C1. I enjoyed hearing your breakdown and thoughts. I heard the Dorian comment as an attraction as well.
I love that kind of feedback, dude. When I read that comment, it's a she, right? We've established that. And when she said, like, it reminded me of campaign 1, it wasn't a specific moment of campaign 1. It was just campaign 1, how new it is. And it's like, D&D becoming accessible to people outside of the basement, It just kind of brought me back and then reminded me that we had talked about how maybe Orem has a crush on Dorian, and at this point, maybe not just a crush, just kind of like, dude, I'm ready to move on.
Might be a little bit more.
Yeah, and I'd kind of forgotten about that. Didn't even cross my mind when it happened, but yeah. But what I noticed also is that I think I was wearing the same shirt last time, so I'm going to go ahead and change that real quick before we start with our rollies. This one? Yeah, that's mine. Okay, just a second. I know you can still see me.
Okay. Oh my God! Look at that hairy shirt.
It's chilly weather. You can still double up. Let's put that there for now.
Look at that! Look at that hairy chest.
Oh yeah, is that busting out?
Oh
yeah, maybe it's time for a trim. It's not that bad. Not that bad. All right, I'm good. it might mess it up, you know. It's like if you have the same
Mhm.
picture for the thumbnail, it's like, oh, is that the same
Good point.
episode?
Oh, all right. Interesting.
But I'm doubling
I
up
didn't think that was
because
the real thing. Let's get into some rollies. My dice is hot. I've rolled it twice already, and they were both 18 and 16. So
all right.
here we
And
go again.
also,
I've probably blown them out. Now I'm going to roll a natural one.
well, you're gonna win a lot because the 4 die won. So I got a 10.
I got a 12.
Oh, we still got the fucking message down there. Based on your browser's language.
What does
Sorry,
that mean?
you got a 12?
Yeah, I got a 12. Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's just
Okay, I'm going to start right at the top of this. I fucking called it.
Yes, you
Nailed
did.
it. Nailed it.
Yes, you did.
It just, as soon as I saw it, I was like, okay, a challenge about trust is not going to be about trust if there are doppelgangers, because then they're not going to trust each other. And Nanamori's little fucking thing about, well, it's about choosing who you trust. No. That's not an episode about trust anymore. That's not a challenge about trust anymore. That's a challenge about suspicion.
Yep. Good word. Yeah.
They definitely had a ton of fun with it, and they were all over each other's shit with you. That's something I love. Some of the banter. The banter was amazing. Like
Fucking
Liam never
amazing.
rolls that high.
Yeah.
Liam never rolls that. That is. I love. This is one of my favorites. That's exactly what not Oram would not want to not do. Fucking amazing. Like the trolling was excellent. But what I really want to talk
the
about,
whole thing, it was fantastic.
It was
Just
so good.
constant humor. It was great.
what I really want to talk about is for all you DMs out there, great fucking move by Matt to show the 5 cards that are themselves and the 2 cards that are the doppelgangers. And then what's the first thing he does? Puts them down behind the screen and then puts them out. Now I'd like you to shuffle these and cut them up. I'm like, come on, man. I saw that. I saw that. I know what you're doing there. And
I wasn't watching, so I didn't see it, but
my players don't watch this, thankfully, but I did the exact same thing to them.
after this episode.
No. At the very camp. I think it was like episode 1, 2, 3. It was our episode. It was our session like 4 or 5, where they 5 or 6. 1, 2, 3.
Matthew's stealing Ben's tricks,
5,
huh?
6. It's a classic DM trick.
Okay, shit.
It's just a fucking sleight of hand thing that isn't really even sleight of hand, because you have a goddamn
board. Yeah.
you have a screen in front of you. But I like in Cursive Strahd, there is a Taroka. It's a tarot reading, and it tells them where the 3 holy items to defeat Strahd and the fated ally and where Strahd will be. It's basically 5 cards, and it's like these 5 cards tell you the entire direction of the game. And I chose them myself, but I made them draw them from the deck because I stacked the deck. And it's like, here you go, blah 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 blah.
Classic.
And then you just stack the deck, and then it's the ones that I wanted based on where I want them to go. Yes, it's railroading, but it's important. Otherwise,
everybody was thinking that.
Otherwise, in a deck of 50 cards, they might choose a place that I do not want, and ultimately they do not want the thing to be. It won't make any sense. Worst case scenario, they get a fated ally that is completely useless to them and doesn't help them in any shape or form. This way, I gave them the second most powerful ally that they could get in the game, and they love me for it. It's great. So whether they know it or not. Anyway,
so
I just
stack
want to
the
say
deck so your players love you. That's what he's saying.
Yes, that's 100% exactly what I'm saying. It's just as if you're learning to be a DM, don't leave things up to chance. Beginner DMs don't do that, and I think even in this situation where Matt could have left things up for chance, it made way more sense for him not to put 2 doppelganger cards in, because then it really became about trust.
And you called it, sure. And he's not saying railroad everything, just be prepared for whatever else you offer them.
100%.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well,
that's all I wanted to say.
I guess I'll say that's very relevant to that as a yes and. I'm assuming we haven't spoken to each other since watching the episode. I've seen it 3 times because I loved it so much. we had the same thought as Ladna or Marisha. I think it was more Marisha talking at the table. He was like, "Hold on," like what you just
Right.
said. I was
Yes.
like, "Hold on, this seems counterintuitive if we're supposed to trust each
Yep.
other."
Yep.
You know, and I'm like, "Oof, that's a bit on the nose,
It's
Marisha."
exactly on the nose. You're totally right. And
Yeah.
that's the thing. Like, I don't think at that point they realized the players realized that there might not be any doppelgangers, but
None of them
it was
did.
definitely they were definitely like, I think Sam really as FCG really felt into that as well. It's like, this doesn't seem to be an exercise about trust anymore, or this is really an exercise about trust, so we should be doing it. And then I think they were starting to figure it out that maybe that wouldn't work if they were to if some of them were to be doppelgangers, it wouldn't make sense.
Liam was the first. Well, maybe Marisha was the first in the
Yeah.
beginning.
Yes.
But man, just like listening to all their comments, like you said, like that's another little point here that came up in conversation. I'll go ahead and let's cross that one out. It was just hilarious. It was constant, just like fucking with each other, like, and they're all good actors. I, I almost said good actor, except for Ashley. No, Ashley's a great actress.
Amazing.
But, and especially with this character, she could be this way or this way. We don't know.
We don't know.
But like, and that's her saving grace, because like she's not good at improv. You know, she'll be the first one to tell you this. So in a situation like this, and Marisha was saying like, dude, I nervous laugh all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to hide it because, you know.
Well, there's a moment, I wrote it down actually at 46 minutes, and they're having Laudna and Imogen are having a conversation across the table, and Imogen was like, I feel like you're a doppelganger, and Laudna's like, what?
Oh, yeah.
There's the whole thing back, and everyone's like, what did you just? And they're all pointing fingers at each other, and they're like, it's you are a doppelganger. And it was obviously she wasn't, but unable to actually convince them that she wasn't. Fucking great.
Yeah.
Great.
I don't know if it wasn't the first time, because Laudna was like, Imogen, do you love me? You know? And it's like, I already told you I did, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and
And
it's and everybody's looking at them and they're like, oh, eye contact, what's going on?
Yep, that's the moment.
And no, I don't think that's the moment, because I think it comes up later where they had another interaction where she was like, I didn't think you were the doppelganger until now.
Right.
And that's when she was like, and then Sam gave her like, really? That's how you're gonna hide it? And he gave her shit like, that was like a second interaction.
So good. So good. It was fun. That's sort of the theme of that entire thing, right? Is that it's not so much the characters that are having a great time, it's the cast, it's the players that are really into this. It's really above table fun. Like they're really into it, they're really having a good time, they're really excited about things, they're having a blast. It's you can say whatever you want, and believe me, the comments do, about how shitty of a session this was and how boring this was. Oh, trust me, they're out there. Yeah, it's not. Again, we've said this many times. Matt's not doing this. They're not doing this for us. They're doing this for them. We're just along for the ride and enjoying it.
We're still just fucking scrying in on their fucking game. It's for them.
It's for them.
If you don't understand that, keep watching the show, but go fuck yourself, or get involved here and fucking get in the comments here and fight us, because we will fight back.
It's funny, right? Like, it feels like sometimes people hate watch shit. They're watching it to shit all over it.
Mostly porn, but you know, there's Netflix too.
I mean, I get what you're doing. I get why you're doing that, and that's a legit thing. But come on, I had a long conversation this weekend with one of my buddies over a few whiskeys about people and anger and comments on the internet and things about why people are able to say things on the internet that they, on whatever comment section, on whatever it may be, whatever social media platform you want to talk about, why they're allowed to say those things when they would never, ever, ever in a million years say that to someone face to face.
Yeah.
And it's anger. It's just, it's some trolling. It's some whatever you want to call it, but it's deep-seated insecurities and anger about their own position and place in life.
Yeah, well, you're in a situation of safety behind the screen. You just fucking
100%.
type it out, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, like Louis
Anyway,
C.K. has that whole bit. He's like about that, like, what is it, armchair something or other.
yeah.
And he's like, if you go into an elevator and somebody slightly bumps you and you turn your face to them and be like, you piece of shit. Like you would never do that if you were guarded by like a window in your
Oh no, yeah.
car,
Oh
you
yeah.
know?
Oh
Remember
yeah.
that? Remember that bit?
I know
Yeah.
the yeah, I know the bit. I
Like
know it
somebody
well.
slightly bumps your shoulder.
Yep.
Nobody gets angry about
Hmm.
that unless you piece of shit. It's hilarious. Shit. What was I gonna say to add on to that real quick? Damn it! I think we strayed too far from it.
Cool. Let's do it. Whoa, Jesus. Let's do another rollies.
Okay, let's just do another rolling. If it comes up, it'll come up.
That's what she said.
That's
Ooh,
what she
4.
said. Wow, just got you with a 5.
Whoa, look at that.
I'm rolling with the 4 die. This thing never wins. Shit.
Okay. All right. All right.
All right. Well, okay. Laura, I know you're watching, and I'm gonna toss a lot of shade your way right now. Not shade, shame.
Oh.
I didn't timestamp it because I was just kind of appalled by the way that you approached this
no.
reference, Laura.
Oh no.
Laura Bailey. I'm talking about Laura Bailey.
Okay.
It's not camera A, camera B.
Ah.
First of all, it's camera 1, camera 2. And it's very clear because with the accent, camera 1, camera 2. It's got to be New Jersey, you know? It's not camera A, B. Second of all, how could you get the fucking movie wrong?
It's not how I married an axe murderer.
No.
It hurt
It's
me
Tia
too.
Carrera
Yeah.
and fucking
And
Wayne
Mike
from
Myers.
Wayne's World, Mike
Mike
Myers.
Yeah.
On top of her,
To
an
be fair, How I
iconic
Married an
moment.
Axe Murderer is Mike Myers as well.
Sure, but
It's-
he's not
it's the
as
same actor.
Wayne in his
Not
whitey
the same.
tighties on top of Tia Carrera.
Yeah.
Carrera or Carrera?
Carrera.
I think it's Carrera.
Yeah.
Laura, if you're watching, you can't fix it. Anybody else who's watching, correct me if I'm wrong. I was cringing at that point.
It
and
hurt
nobody,
me a
and
little
nobody
bit too
corrected
because
it.
it's one of my favorite childhood movies of all time as well. I love that movie so much.
Yeah,
I said childhood. It's not really childhood. It's my teen years.
Yeah.
When
it
is
was-
that movie?
I mean, the number of
80s?
times that we must have seen this, I think it was late 80s by the time.
I've watched
early
Wayne's,
90s maybe.
Wayne's World. Fuck, I don't even know how many times.
I can't count.
It's hundreds of times.
Especially
hundreds
the first
of
one.
times.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And just to get that wrong, and we are in the same. I know. Again, I'm addressing you, Laura, not you, Ben. Laura, we're in the same generation. You know. In fact, I think you might be a little bit older than me. No, I don't think that's true. But come on, to get that wrong, shame on you, Laura. All right. If you disagree with me and you have some reason for it, just get in touch with us in the comments, Laura Bailey. All right. And I just had to say that. All right, because it kind of hurt me a little bit as a as a person that grew up in the late 80s, early 90s. All right. So I had to get it out there first before I get into other things.
Okay.
Just to clear my, just to get ready for the episode. Fuck. That's what I was hoping to win the first rollie, but fucking rolled
To get that out of the way. I know I caught it too both times. Well, the first time I was like, camera A, camera B. No, that's not what they said, and that's
And same with Sam being like, "What's that from?" Like, you son of a bitch.
You guys should know this. It's iconic. It was the anyway, yeah.
You Sam of a bitch. You know you're watching too, because you watch every episode of everything related to you. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Just okay. Go ahead, man. Just be irrelevant. It's fine. I just had to get it out there.
I'd like to. Matt did this twice, so I don't really have a yes and for that one. But
I don't think anybody would.
Yeah, no. I'm going to say, like, one of my big points is I really found it confusing, but it was really, really well thought out, and I hope they carry this over into other things, because I don't know if they can or not, because I'm not really sure how the mechanics of it would work. But the way that Matt was like, okay, if you're going to do an insight check, I need you to text me if you are a doppelganger or not. And he knows full well that they're not.
Yeah.
But to keep the sort of illusion alive, tell me if you are a doppelganger or not, so I can decide whether or not to roll a deception or persuasion roll for you. And then he rolls it behind the screen, which is inconsequential because it doesn't actually matter. But the idea of it's Matt rolling for them whether persuasion or deception, but they're never going to be a doppelganger because it's an inception thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
this
yeah.
is there. It's inside of it's a game in a game in a game,
Yeah.
and it's you're because this is they're go even one step further on the inception metaphor. We find out at the end of the right before the break that they were literally dreaming that Nanamori drugged them with the tea. Which on a side note, I had a suspicion 79 when Matt made a big deal about Morgan preparing tea. I was like, is she going to drug them? And then I completely forgot
It's
about it.
exactly what I thought.
Yeah. And then sure enough, they're like, you wake up and I'm like, oh yeah, the tea. I remember thinking that
Would you like
last
some
week
tea?
that maybe that, oh yeah, okay, you're sitting down to get tea. So no, sure enough, it was. So it's a dream and it's a game inside of a game. So there's 3 layers there inside of this. And I was just like, fuck, man, like the not the ability, because it's not that complicated to think about all that shit, but just a really, really cool way of Matt sort of looking at these things and being like, okay, this is about trust for you guys. So I'm kind of taking the reins here and going with roles that should be your roles, but they're not your roles because you're dreaming, but then you might be a doppelganger, but you're clearly not a doppelganger. I don't know. I found it super confusing and tricky to think about, but it was a fun experience anyway.
Yeah, I mean Matthew did a great job of, keeping the illusion that 2 of them are doppelgangers. And like because you had said it, it had been crossing my mind the whole time. But I sent you
Right.
that message. I was sitting on the park bench over there in the park, just like sipping at a beer and having a smoke and watching the episode. I'm like, I told you, I'm like, this thing's stressing me out. I didn't
Yeah.
want to give you any spoilers. I
Right.
almost didn't send you that, but I was like, this is stressing me out
Yeah.
because you know me, I don't like to predict. If I watch like a movie that we don't know who the killer is, like I don't want to try to guess because they're just going to twist it on me at some
Right.
point. They're going to be more
Right.
clever than I am. So I'm not even going to try. But I couldn't help but sit there and try to figure it out. And I was thinking maybe Chet and maybe Orem towards the end. But then
Yeah,
it
so was I.
became to maybe nobody.
Yeah.
And maybe Ben was right.
It became really clear at the end when nobody was doing any shady shit.
Yeah.
You're like, wait, they only had, I think I counted through 3 rounds. It was because Matt did that thing about loose initiative, and you can kind of get away with a lot more inside of this. And really cool, fun way to roll too. I like that. Like, yeah, keep a loose initiative order so that they're each not shouting over each other, and
yeah.
but you can do a little bit more, and you can get away with a bit more kind of thing. I like that idea. That's really fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, like letting them, it became more and more clear that they're literally all going for these branches, and they're not doing any shady shit. It still wasn't completely clear up till the end, but it was looking more and more like it. I think they only did 3 rounds or 4 maybe tops.
Yeah, 3, 4 tops. I think it was like less than that. Yeah.
Not super difficult too. Not really very challenging. That was the other thing that kind of made it like there was that the weird little squirrels with the teeth that split down the middle, and those teeth fucking weird. Kenny, the tiny little failing quickly. I think they're called quicklings. Yeah, they zip around really fast. The what Chat very fondly called the tentacowl. That made me laugh.
Okay, that's good.
The tentacle owl, tentacowl. Yeah, it was weird because he said tentacle and then he said long appendage with a hook at the end, and I was like, that's way worse.
It's like
I don't like that one at all.
With a cat penis coming out of his mouth.
Right.
What it started reminding me of was like, okay, so I watched the thing 3 times. So the first time I'm like, I'm stressed out. I'm like, who are the doppelgangers? Second time I watched it, I knew how it went, and I wasn't really paying attention that much to those kinds of details. I was paying attention to other shit. And the third time going through, it's already set in that sorry guys, no doppelgangers. And it was so clear the third time through that it was of course none of them are,
Yep.
as good as actors as they all are, It
Yeah.
was so clear the third time through that nobody was a
Yes.
doppelganger,
There
but
were
they
there
were
were
making great
moments.
jokes and they're
Mhm.
doing
There
jibs
were
and
moments, like
jibes,
you
you
said
know.
earlier, when I thought like Laudanum maybe is like she's trying to Marisha's like laughing the nervous laughter shit, and then like Fern was doing the thing about where whatever, but just you could see just from their actions, like Ashton was full on no bones about it. I'm being Ashton. I'm doing Ashton things. Fern was getting a little loosey goosey about some stuff and about chuckling or goofing around with things, and Chetney maybe
Kind
doing a little bit
of.
of sus things, but for the most part, yeah, it was clear. It was pretty clear and obvious.
Yeah. I mean, like, Orem was a little bit suspect just because he was quiet and because he
Right.
never rolls that high for initiative.
Yeah.
Just bullshit.
Or never rules that high. Just a weird little thing. Like as I'm thinking about these things, we learned about the last session, 79. We learned the monocle of true essence. We learned
Mm.
the scarf of ill. No, scarf of.
Ill.
Damn it! What's it? I didn't write it down. This one, scarf of something, whatever it's called.
It's got
Scarf of ill
fear,
intent or
ill
something.
intent. So, yeah, it's like, oh, yeah, it sounds
Scarf of shitty
close
misuse.
enough.
I don't remember. Something like that. And then but we don't know what this branch is. It's never mentioned by name. And so we don't really know what it can do.
Wait,
Um,
was it an item they retrieved at the
yeah.
end?
Yeah, they got because they put them all together and then Nanamori
Is that
is
what
like
she handed over?
she hands over and then Laura reaches up and grabs it.
Right, it's like waiting for
FC
someone to
so
get it.
the
Okay,
the
so that's what
actual
they think
order.
FCG got.
Yeah, Chet gets the monocle for now. They literally they all said for now. Chet gets the monocle for now. Imogen gets the scarf for now.
Well, if
I
they're
think Fern
unattunable, like we said
they're
last
unattunable,
time,
so
you
they can
just toss
pass
them
them around.
around.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then the
super
FCG
powerful.
should get that branch.
Absolutely.
It does wonderful things for him. It's a healing thing, right? So it's a big healing boost for a cleric that is his subclass leaves a lot to be desired so far. Or he's just not playing it very well. We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
Yeah. Should we get into rollies again?
Real quick,
Go.
what this reminded me of, especially the third time around, was that when the Trickfoots came to visit, you know, and they're like,
Yes.
"Oh, there's a curse in the family, and we just want
Right.
to lift this curse."
It's
And,
it's just a con.
this big fucking thing was there, and there was like,
Mhm.
what, you know, Matthew's back there rolling dice, and it's like,
Yep.
"What'd you roll?" It's like, "I rolled a 24," and he's like, "You go up and you swing, and the thing just dodges out of the way. It seems like it kind of flickers and then comes back into place."
Yep.
We're like, at like 20 minutes into the fight, someone's like, "Has anybody hit this thing yet?"
Yeah.
They're like, "No,
Yeah.
I think it's fake." You know,
Yep.
that's what this reminded me of. Like,
A little bit.
but it took a little bit longer for them
Yes.
all to get to the same page.
The-
Where it's like, I don't think there's a doppelganger here, man. You guys are all
Yeah.
either really good actors or there's just no doppelgangers.
And then there was a good little element of distraction by him on this as well, by having these ruins and then having the ruins filled with little removable like plant things and little set in things that could be moved. It was really modular, the whole layout that he had, and it was stuffed with things. So they were like, Liam spent a ton of time at the other side of the table, peering at things and checking things out and moving around. They were standing up and walking around the table a lot, looking at it, which distracts them from the whole purpose of this trust exercise, who was the doppelgangers, the Among Us thing, suddenly became playing second fiddle to all of them trying to figure out where to find the little branch segments. Yeah, clever, confusing, but clever. Yeah.
Really fun. I don't think Matthew expected
Really
it to
fun.
last like 2 hours and 20 minutes, you know, for the
No.
first half.
No.
But it was a joy the whole time, for fuck's
They
sake.
they were having a blast. They were both of these sessions, 79 and 80, for the first 3 quarters anyway, of these 4 parts, like the first half, second half, first half, second half sort of thing. For 3 quarters of this, the cast was having a blast. They were excited. They were laughing. They were
Cast blast.
if nothing, I even wrote this down. Like the laughter as they accuse each other of being sus is, if nothing else, they're bonding again.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like 80 episodes in, a ton of people on the internets, in the Critical Role forums and whatnot. They're oh, there needs to be more check-ins. It's why they're not bonding. They're all upset with each other, and they're not really gelling yet. Blah blah blah. They got to it eventually. These are the and it probably at the point where they really needed it the most, where they're about to do the big espionage trip to the moon. Maybe.
Which
we'll see.
More about that soon, based on the things I've got written down here.
Let's find out what they are as we do some rollies.
Let's do it. Ooh, right next to the 20, which is an 8.
I got a 6. I thought it was a 9, but it's upside down 9.
Well, that's why they put the period there.
It's a line on mine. Let's check that out. It's a line.
We got a line underneath it.
Yeah.
Instead of a hat. Okay, well then I'm gonna go ahead and this kind of goes right into this. In their first challenge, when they're like, if you speak truths, if you're being honest, I suppose. I kept on saying we kept on saying truth the first time. There was honesty, communication, and trust. Yeah. So the honesty, one of the honesty things that, or the honest things that Fern had said in the first challenge was, guys, I don't think we're fucking ready for this. They're level 11, and like, I think you and I have talked about this on cast and just in to each other.
Totally.
Like a level 11, everybody they meet is like level 20. Like everybody, like Odahan Thul, the first time they fought her was like what, 15, and they were 9
around there. Yeah.
You know,
and
and it's like
8 or 7 or 8 or something like that.
And she by herself took them out pretty easily, you know. And it's the whole time I'm thinking, that's a theme of this whole campaign is these guys are way they're above their britches. That's not the term. What's the term? The britches are too big for the paychecks can cash. What's the term?
That's the one exactly.
Was that the one?
Nailed
okay,
it.
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
Yep. What's good for one is the trash for another.
Yep. Bird,
exactly.
2 stones in the bird bush.
Yeah,
I got it.
Everybody's the same. Yeah. I've been thinking this the whole time. We've talked about this whole time. It's like, how the fuck are they stand a chance against a Ludinus when one of the simulacrums gave them trouble? A little bit. Not that much. They were pretty smart with the lava. But if they come across fucking what's his name in the one shot from campaign 2, what's his name? Ichthon. If they come across that guy, just one level 20 wizard, they're fucked.
Yeah.
This group. So like when she said like we can't do this, it's like yeah. And then they had a subsequent conversation about that, and Allura chimed in too. She was saying that's a good point. So Allura is now responding to what you and I were concerned about. She's saying that's a good point. Maybe you can find a place to make it work and make it work really well.
100%. And I think it's because like if we're onto it and we've talked about it before, it makes sense that like Matt's thought about it in the cast is where the players have probably thought about it as well. Yeah. I don't think it's a real far stretch. Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah, and like when she finally said it out loud, I was like, okay, now you're the voice of the people now. That's what everybody's thinking back
like
here.
at the very end of this episode, it's funny because she even admits, Fern admits, she's like, okay, maybe I was wrong. Maybe we are ready for this. I mean, that's after she gets the exalted fire elemental shit, but
I believe that was Laudna.
Oh yeah, I think Laudna said that. Yeah, Fern, maybe we are ready for this, and then Fern agrees. She's like, okay, maybe we are ready for this.
After both the Ashton and Fern, like when they touched and like they got handed a piece of paper, they shared them, but we don't know what it is yet. Damn it!
No, we have no idea. As Liam so eloquently put it, palm to palm is Holy Palmer's kiss. There's a fun little thing that I don't think many people caught, and I did because I know my Shakespeare. It's a Romeo and Juliet line when Juliet talking to Romeo.
He knows his Shakespeare.
I had fucking shit Romeo and Juliet shit for me in high school. It triggered something. And I was like, I know that. Oh yeah, it's right. Shakespeare, Juliet talking to Romeo about holding hands and not kissing. Yeah. Anyway, it's my go.
Okay. No, I had to put that together. It was like,
well, it happens when
would you like a little piece of him inside you?
You need to kiss. She's like, you need to kiss, and then they're like, no, that's very presumptuous. Let's just hold hands, and that's when Liam says, yeah, palm to palm is Palmer's kiss, and I was like, oh, that's a Romeo and Juliet line. Anyway,
well done, Liam.
Whatever.
He's so sharp.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
love that guy.
Uh,
Is
I
it yes
guess
and?
I don't really have a yes and for that one. What I do kind of f- found really interesting. This is a big point. Um, it's kind of a big one, and I've been holding on to it, but I'm just going to throw it out there now.
Yeah, now's the time.
I
The rest
kind
of
of
mine are
got
pretty small.
I kind of got to thinking, like reflecting on this episode as it was finished, and looking back at how enthralled the table was when Fern floats up in the air and she's wreathed in fire. Her hair becomes fire, there's fire coming out of her eyes, and Mister is all freaking out and is super happy about it. And then she touches Ashton, and Ashton grows and changes, and he
Oh,
gets
that's
all these
right.
powers.
Transform. He's 2 feet
So
taller, and
he's like 7 feet
his feet are
tall.
like
Yeah.
golems. Yeah,
He's got huge, big, trunked out legs.
bell
When,
bottoms.
when they bell bottoms, yeah. But Ashley started singing "Bell Bottom Jeans," which is not the song at all, but it's all good. Anyway. They
A lot of shitty pop references.
yeah it got me thinking sort of as a whole. I started thinking about maybe they're excited, they're laughing, they're happy about this, they're super turned on about it all. It's all amazing. They're all eyes are bright, and they're all big grins on their face, very excited about these things, happy for each other. They're powerful now, they're titanish, and they're sort of going on about it. It got me to wondering, would they have been this excited about it if Ashton hadn't done what he did? Would they have been
Previous, you mean?
excited? Yeah. Would they have been as excited about this if Fern had just taken the shard right away? I don't think so.
No.
That's my thought here. I think it actually makes it bigger and more. If Fern had just taken the shard and just been like sucked it in with the harness, it would have been kind of anticlimactic. It would have been just like, oh yeah, okay, it did the thing we thought it would do, and all right, now here we go. Let's go to the moon. Like, I think in a weird roundabout way, it's better. And I think when we look back on this campaign, when it's all said and done, and we reflect on it, that episode 78 where Ashton betrays them all is going to be left in the dust. It's not going to matter. And people are going to look at it as like, oh man, Ashton really fucked up there. But in the end, it all turned out right. And it was such a huge moment when Fern got that shard. And it was so big and it was amazing. And now look what they can do. That's my take.
Yeah. I mean, I think I've said multiple times in this campaign, like, I kind of hope somebody dies,
Mhm.
And in the
Yeah.
case of Ashton doing that, that
Yep.
would have been a great time for him to die. But they did great job of keeping him alive, But I'm like, yeah, if this is when he dies, and like when they said in the Four-Sided Dive as well,
Yep.
like, do I have to do this again with Taliesin? He's the one that keeps on
Mhm.
dying,
Mhm.
And it's like,
Mhm.
well, dude, I mean, he made the decision. He's got the
Yeah.
low charisma, but not super low intelligence,
Right. And Talison's the most experienced D&D player at that table, which is always interesting, sort of a fascinating thing for me, because as much as Travis loves pushing red buttons, I think Taliesin wins because he's got more experience, which lets him think he knows more, so he does more things. Point in case, why did he smash that lens way back at the thing? Because his D&D experience told him magical items can't be destroyed, which is not true. But he fully believed that, and that's why he took the hammer and smashed it.
Yeah.
Because he's like, no, if it's magic, it can't be destroyed. But yeah.
I also really like how, when that happened, it was like in the middle of somebody else's conversation.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I remember correctly.
Yes. Yes.
And then this time it was like, all right, I put it on the ground. No, I'm joking.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. No, that's my point. Do one more. I got one or two more points here.
Yeah, sure.
I'll do another rollie.
I got some evergreens that I could just throw out
Okay.
there as yes ands or whatever. But
Cool.
yeah, let's roll it up. Sure.
10. Jesus. All my good rolls are gone.
6.
Oh, I win this one.
Yeah, we're both
okay,
rolling
so
shit today.
on the note about how much more fun it was because when Fern got it, they were much better prepared for what was going on, and they buffed her a lot better. I thought it was pretty funny how Sam's little comment about Taliesin was like, "Yeah, you should probably put Death Ward on her as well." And Sam's like, "I didn't prepare it. I thought we were going on a scavenger hunt, so I swapped it out for locate object." He literally says that, and I'm like, that's a funny one because. And Taliesin was like, "Oh, you should always have Death Ward." He's like, "Yeah, I know, but I didn't. I thought it was going to be a scavenger hunt." So he's like, "I didn't have it prepared." No, Death Ward is like it's I don't know, it's low level. So it's a low level spell. But yeah, anyway, they did the Potion of Heroism, the Bonded Blessing, Sympathetic Binding, or whatever, not the Bonded, but Sympathetic Binding, bunch of other stuff. They had her buffed up, ready to go. They really should have done like Aura of Life. Was the one that Fern cast upon herself, but she really should have done Fire Shield instead. Again, I'm really surprised they didn't do Fire Shield, but it's all good. Whatever, it is what it is.
Is Fire Shield concentration?
No, I don't believe it is.
That's why it would have been twice as good.
Yeah, it might be. Correct me if I'm wrong, Internet, but I have no idea. It should have been it should have been Fire Shield. Regardless, it would have taken more damage away. Resistance to fire. Although there is a case to be made for saying that, okay, but the fire shield is external, so fire coming in. This is internal fire. Maybe it wouldn't work that way. I don't know. I just want to say,
yeah, that's rough.
my point here is that she took 303 points of damage through those 10 rounds.
You tallied it up?
I did, yeah. I added it all up the second time around. I was like, I'm curious what it is. At 303 points of damage is a lot. I tried to keep track of the cure wounds.
That's three times Ashton's.
The cure wounds was really hard to keep track of because they weren't saying all the numbers. Like especially when Ashley was casting it on herself, she was just like, "Okay, I roll," and then she's like, onto the little tablet.
She didn't say it.
She didn't say it. Yeah.
Wow, that's right. Annoying. She didn't. I think she did the first time, but not the second time.
And the second and third, she didn't. I've got it written down here. Geez. Yeah. Yep.
Come on, but Ash. We know you're watching. Come on. You gotta communicate. We're watching.
While this was all happening, at 3 hours, 32 minutes, 14 seconds, Chet does Blood Curse of Binding on FCG when he goes into his rampage.
I love that part.
And immediately I'm like, oh, it's a blood curse on a robot who doesn't have blood.
Wait, but it's his own blood that he does. He draws his own blood.
Yes. A blood curse of binding. It's implied. It's implied that the binding, and then Matt caught me on this one where he's like, whatever aormaton fluid flows through your body is frozen, and you can't move your wheel. And I was like, you clever motherfucker, you got me there. That's all. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Good on you, Matt. We know you're watching it as well. Huh. Because that's never really been said before. But he also kind of said it kloogy woogey. You know, it's like whatever aorian fluid goes through your body.
Fluid
and your legs, you don't have legs. Your wheel, you just can't move it. And you're stuck in place. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I like that. Hey, it's, page 4. Was it page 4?
Yeah.
It's like, hey, it's up to you. You're the DM.
Up to you. Totally up to you.
Absolutely. Am I yes-anding right now?
Go for it.
Okay. This one I don't remember what the fuck I was referring to. I already did that one, so I can cross it out.
303 hit points is a lot. That's a lot.
Wait, Fern's truth that we can't do this. Yeah, we already talked about that. Oh, I didn't cross it out. Okay, I only got a couple things left here. One thing that fuck it, I'll find it later. Drop my cap to my pen. Yeah, the rest are green level, winter green, evergreen. There we go. When they kept on saying like, "Are you the guy? Are you the bad guy?" They said it so many times, and even Matthew said it once. That at some point, I wish I had timestamps, but I'm not fucking crit roll stats. Rest in peace. They kept on saying the guy when everybody knows there's supposed to be two doppelgangers, and they kept on saying like, "Are you the guy? You the guy?"
That's interesting. I didn't catch that.
especially the third time watching through when I
Ah,
knew, and I was just like
that's
accepting.
interesting. I didn't catch that one.
I'm like, okay, so
Hmm.
like it kind of made me a little bit skeptical where it's like if you keep on saying the guy, including Matthew once, I was
Hmm.
like, it gave me that little like inkling of doubt. I was like, wait, hold on a second. Did you guys know beforehand? Is this shit scripted? Of course I know it's not. But they kept on
Hmm.
saying the guy instead of both. I don't know. It made me feel uneasy. I was yelling at the screen like my mom's mom used to do and throw the Nerf ball when she disagreed with everything.
Hmm. Hmm.
Because I was on the big screen for a little while and I was like, one of the guys. Come on.
Hmm.
Even after they got out of it, they're like, "You're the bad guy," or "You're the doppelganger." The instead of one of the.
Hmm.
I don't know, man. It just kind of it made me a little bit like, are you guys really being honest with us or not?
I don't know.
I trust them,
Yeah.
but that did make me a little bit like, hey,
No, I don't think so. I don't think they knew. I think they were suspecting it, as we said before. I think they were suspecting probably. I don't think they knew. I don't think they'd play that game. That doesn't make sense to me where they'd play that kind of a trick on all of us.
sure. But what would be kind of cool maybe is like Matthew says there are two doppelganger cards here, but he only puts one in. That would also be
Mm,
another fun thing to do, you
could
know?
be.
Because they'd be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, we found one, but
Right.
who's the other?" That would
Right.
have been pretty cool
Maybe.
too.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
I
got
don't know.
another rollie in me. I got one more rollie in me, and then I'm gonna have to shut this down because I'm tired. It's been a long week.
All right, let's roll it up. I might just want to just throw these things out here anyway.
Do it.
I got 11, bro.
Hey, look at that. Natural 20.
Hey, Benny wins with a fake natural 20.
I'll show it to you if you want to see it. It's right there.
Oh yeah, I got a 20 here too. I just don't know where
Yeah,
it
yeah,
is.
yeah, sure. All right. So good because this is actually a question to you.
Oh, okay, here we
I
go.
wrote this right down at the very end. As they finish the episode and Matt signs off, and that's where we'll finish for tonight. Um, they start talking about the giant fucking cards of paper that they got
Yeah.
for Ashton and Fern's new abilities. Their forms. It's funny because Matt says you are currently in a specific form, and I'm like, how many forms are they going to have? Two or three? Because I started wondering if they've got a normal where there are no signs, they're just like the normal one, and then intermediate form where they're like half and half, and then a third form where they are full on elemental. That's okay. So sorry, I didn't mean to steal that from you.
No, no,
But
no, no. I have something to add.
oh, okay, good. But at the end of this, at the very, very end of the episode, they're talking about these, and Matt's like, "Yeah, you got to realize that if you do those things, there's that penalty you got to pay."
Right.
And I'm like, what? And they both are like, yeah, 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 the penalty. I
Yeah,
know, we
completely
know about that.
understanding.
Completely understand. I'm like, what? Wait, what?
Like, is it on
Because
the sheet or?
of course it is. Of course it's on the sheet. So I want to know, number one, what that penalty is. I also want to know if Ashton got his +2 to Constitution back.
I don't
And
think
I
so.
want to know what the boon is that Fern received from the fucking ghost pirate. Because we still don't know what that is. We don't know what, remember that one?
Yeah, that's right. I completely
Yeah.
forgot about it until you just said it. Yeah.
Right. So does that play in at any point now that she's like a fire elemental? And I'm like there's these three mysteries we don't know about. Well, the second one is really a mystery, but I would like to know if now that Ashton's Titan shard has been awakened, if he gets that +2 to con back. Probably not, but I'd like to know. That's all.
I would like that answer to be no, because I want real
Maybe.
consequences here.
Yeah, maybe. What do you think the penalty is?
I mean, like if Fern's gonna have a penalty, I don't know what the fuck that would be. Like, if she's gonna get something and then also have something negative happen from it, I can't imagine what that would be. With Taliesin, I think he already. I mean, is he going to get another boon plus penalty now that he's awakened that other half of him?
Mm,
And
mm-hmm.
Matthew said, "And you feel complete," where he's always like, "I've always felt like a half a person, like there's something missing." But then Matthew said, "And you feel complete," like right in the last like
right
5,
at the
10
end,
minutes.
you feel complete. Yeah, I wrote it down too because it's very profound. I have a sneaky suspicion. My thought on it is, it's going to be something akin to Chetney's Bloodlust and FCG's Rampage thing with the stress points. My sneaky suspicion is based on Matt giving them all these visions. You see time before time of all these fire shapes, blah blah blah. You see the wave of mountains cresting and rising and cresting and this.
He saw history happening really quickly, right?
Yes, I have a sneaky feeling the penalty is that when they go into their complete state, there is a chance that they will lose themselves for a time.
Okay. Okay.
That they will lose Ashton and Fern and will become Raishan and Kamort. And they for a time, for a period of time, maybe like a round or two if it's in combat, or something akin to that. That's my sort of initial thought. I know you don't like predictions, but that's my prediction for it. I think I don't know what other kind of penalty would be, but I have a feeling it's going to be they lose themselves.
That's another kind of overlying theme here,
It is,
because Chetney has one, FCG has that aspect to them,
Yep.
and
Laudna has Delilah. Imogen has her mom.
Yeah,
it is definitely all of them have these things where they these things that in their past that might catch up to them and pull them in a direction they don't want to go.
Yeah, my first thought was not that they would lose themselves and like become berserk or whatever and attack things. My first thought was like, oh, okay, so you're a fire being now, so if you choose to go into this physical being, oh, you're going to be weak, like super weak to ice and water. And it's like, well, yeah, if you want to choose to do this, don't do it around the ocean because you're going to get fucked. Kind of like Signs. Remember that movie?
Yeah.
Don't go to Earth. There's too much water,
Yep.
Something like that,
Yep.
But like, I mean, clearly, Ashton deserves a big fucking penalty, like -2 permanent to con, because you're not supposed to do that. It was quite clearly laid out. Don't do that. Don't put those things together. Someone else and then connect. So yeah, I think that should be permanent. I hope he doesn't get it back, but that's me. I also hope somebody dies. So
Yeah.
I'm on the hardship side here. It's like I want you guys to see some fucking shit. I want Orem to try to contact Dorian, his crush, and then be like, find out like you don't find a target, and be like, what happened there? And it's like, oh, he gave his life for something else. I want this kind of shit. I want Game of Thrones kind of like anybody can die kind of shit.
I had a funny thought about Dorian there. I was like, Dorian's an air genasi. Or Ashton is now an earth genasi. Fern is now like fire genasi. Where's water? Oh yeah, the gentleman. Just a funny thought.
Does something become a genasi? It must have come from somewhere.
Ashton became a earth genasi when the experiment
he was repaired. When he was brought back to life.
Or when he went through the thing because his dad stuffed the thing into he was an elf or a half elf, I think, or something like that.
Yeah. That fucking shard in his head. Yeah.
All right, dude, that's all I got. I'm done with my natural 20. What do you got for your yes and?
All right, because you rolled a natural 20, I'm just gonna rattle off a couple of things here.
Do it.
This one I don't really understand what I wrote. I said, do you think Liam did research for his questions? Oh, that goes to when he was asking Fern. It's like, what did they throw me on the stage?
What did they throw at me when I was in Byroden? Yeah.
I had the same answer as Fern. I was like, I think it was pies because
I remember the pie eating contest too, but there was axes. I'm like,
it was the first time we had pies.
That made me laugh because Imogen was like, or Laura was like, well, this is also Ashley. Or no. Marisha goes, yeah, like,
Ashley. Yeah. Like, do you remember that? Because we don't.
Yep.
And they've all seen it, except for maybe Sam, because he doesn't watch anything that hasn't happened himself. We know you're watching, Sam. And the other question was, Laudna, what did you wear around your neck? She's like, oh, some kind of ferret or something. He's like, close, but I still believe you,
Yes.
I wonder if he actually went back and looked into stuff, like, because it's Liam. Maybe.
Yeah, he might have, because I'd be curious if Liam himself would actually remember those things. Maybe he does.
Yeah. On that note, when Laura casts detect thoughts, and
Mm,
then I'm gonna say Sam, not FCG. And then he's like counterspell.
yeah. Yeah, the trolling was off the charts, man. I
It
love
was fantastic.
Travis texting Matt, big wiener, is
Yeah.
just, and then Sam with, like 10 minutes later texting Matt was like, yeah,
Yes.
fucking God bless you guys.
You guys
I
are
love you.
amazing.
Yeah,
Because they're
I love
like,
you
and he's like,
guys.
Matt,
So
check your
good.
messages. Be like,
Yeah.
oh.
Yep.
And I think that's where Sam got the idea. It's like, ooh,
Yes.
good plan. You
Yeah.
know,
Yep.
that the one of the first times, if not the only time, that Travis out trolled Sam.
hmm I had a fun, just to share with you a quick fun moment that I had in my session on Sunday with my guys. They did dinner with Vampire Lord. They actually had dinner with Strahd, which is a big
Oh,
milestone event in the
yeah,
campaign.
that's big, dude.
I prepared for it, and I prepared Strahd telepathically met when they arrive at the castle. And they're getting prepared to go into the dining room to go actually have dinner with him. They're meeting with his chamberlains and the whatever you call them, the the servants of Strahd, and they're meeting with him and they're getting ready for it. He's sending them telepathic messages,
Chambermaids?
whatever they're called. It's actually the brides of Strahd. He has four brides, and
Oh, okay.
and they help him out along with a couple of servants to get them ready, prepare them, get cleaned up, and new clothes, et cetera, et cetera. And I start passing notes out at the table where he's sending them telepath, and they're long. They're big. He's sending them big, long messages. And the first couple of notes that I passed out, everyone's like, "What? What's happening?" And they're like reading it. And
Anyone who didn't get a note, they're
in
like,
big block letters, it says, "Do not share this with anyone." And that's the first thing they read. So they're like, read that, and they're like, oh, and then they start looking around and they're like holding this paper up, and and I'm like, I start laughing, like inwardly chuckling, and I'm
hold
like,
it
yeah,
together, DM.
yep. And then a couple of minutes goes by, and I pull another one out and pass it out to the next person, and the next person, and the next
Did
person.
they all get one eventually?
Everybody gets one because he sends a
Nice.
message to them. It's quite clever. He
If he can toot
at
his own horn.
at the dinner. This is not my idea. This is a Reddit idea.
Oh.
At the dinner, there is white wine and red wine, and he sends them all personalized messages, set telepathically, messages them all, uh, varying messages, but they're all about the same. Hey, I've been watching you. You're amazing. If you would like to join my side, drink the red wine when I propose a toast. Hey, I've been watching you. You're amazing. If you'd like to join me, drink the white wine when I propose a toast.
Nice.
And
So
so
if
then
one person is like,
yep,
they're like, no, I don't
yep,
want to, so I drink the white
yep,
wine. This one's
exactly.
like, I
No,
don't
I don't
want to,
want
so I
to, so I
drink the
drink the
red.
red wine. Yep, yep,
Because they're like assuming that the other
yep.
person maybe has a similar
Aces.
note. Dude.
It's game in a game. It's not me, man. That's Reddit. That's a Reddit idea.
Hey, whoever's idea that
It's
was to come, yeah,
yeah.
that's fantastic.
It's
That's
a, so it's a
beautiful.
it sort of reminded me when Matt was playing the message game there, or with
Like a
Travis,
like a
Sam,
trust
where
game.
it's
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it's a trust game. It was quite fun.
Yeah, it's like
It didn't play. It
you.
didn't. It was really fun in the moment. It didn't play out the way I thought it would, but that's fine. I wasn't really. Not that the way I thought it would. I didn't play out to the extreme. It played out perfectly. It just didn't. They didn't freak out at each other.
Oh.
There were moments of mistrust, but then this group of players is very close, so they were not like freaking out with each other. They in character they thought for a bit, but then ultimately they slipped back into roles, and it was good. So it was fine. It was totally fine.
I think it's a fine little parallel to campaign 3 at this point because these
Yeah.
people know each other like
Yes.
motherfuckers.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yep.
if you
But
go
they're
way
also
back
seasoned. They're very seasoned D&D players right now, so
as well.
they
Yeah.
know how to separate it.
Yeah.
My players haven't figured that out yet.
Exactly.
They don't do that yet. They
Right.
they still treat each other. Their players and characters are a little bit too close together. They haven't
Yeah.
separated yet,
Like
which is
Liam,
fine. Totally fine.
absolutely. Like Liam's birthday, when he was like, I would love it if we could all get together and play D&D,
Yeah.
like Sam was iffy, Travis was iffy, but
Yep.
as soon as they heard Laura with the accent, they're like, oh shit, what the hell is
Mhm.
this? Like, you're
Yep.
getting deep.
Yep.
And then it turned into this phenomenon. It's like, it's the same kind of thing where like in the beginning they're like
In the beginning.
what, and then now that they know each other so well,
Yep.
be like, I don't think that you would betray us, you
Yeah.
know. So like
Very
maybe
much.
your table, your players at the table, they know each other as, you
Yes.
know, they're like, no, you must have gotten something that said the white and the red might be
Yep.
different, you know. So
Yep.
like maybe they figured that out,
Yep.
but
Maybe.
in front of your face, you know, without saying
Probably.
something, you know.
It was very much a thing. Well, it was fun. Like some of them were trying to sneakily drink it, and it's cute. It made for some really fun role playing, which I really enjoyed. It didn't do the thing where they all freaked out at each other and started accusing each other of anything. They sort of skipped past that part, but it was a fun moment regardless.
Did you have a red and white beverage in
Oh
front
yeah,
of them, or
absolutely.
did you
No, I
pretend
actually
it?
had physical red and white wines, like real,
Nice.
legit
So
red
someone
and
might
white
just
wine.
pick a red, white up or whatever,
Yeah,
take a sip.
yep, yeah. I got little tiny wine glasses for them, so they wouldn't get like big. Blah, blah, blah. And then I had two bottles of, and I even printed out actual wine labels for the winery of the
Nice,
in the
dude.
campaign. Yeah, it was fun.
You hearing this, guys? This guy's a
Props,
fucking great DM.
props.
If you want to have a good game, go down to Kaohsiung. Go, you know,
Sure.
hit this guy up. I'll be down there too if you all show up.
Yeah, it's fun. I
I'll,
put too
I'll,
much time and thought into it, which is it's just little things for me. I don't care
impossible.
if they did
Too much.
notice
Fuck
it,
off.
it did make me proud inside, like a smile inside when they did notice that it took a while. I put the bottles down
Took a
and
while.
they just thought they were just regular wine bottles, and then somebody suddenly noticed, wait a minute, that says Wizards of Wine. And then they're like, what? And they're like, Red Dragon. And then they realized that both of them were the actual in-game bottles of wine from the taverns that they've been going to.
Oh, that makes me so
Yeah.
happy in my core.
Yeah.
The time and effort put in.
I can show it to you. Here, let me show it to you. One sec.
Yeah, go ahead. Oh, that's so fucking cool, man. Like we're both teachers in Taiwan, so like when you come up with things for the students, like the tiny little things that you do for
It was
students,
actually out on the balcony.
they get so
The empty
excited for
the
it.
empty bottle.
Oh, get that cockroach off your head.
Yeah.
Red Dragon Crush. It's a little too close to be red.
Oops. There we go.
Tantalazanol rich
What does it say?
acid.
Yeah, tantalizingly rich red, and then
Tantalizing rich red.
up there, up there, Wizard of Wines.
Wizard wines. Did you take off the other label or just put it over the top?
Oh no, I took off the other label. Yeah,
Hmm.
Red Dragon Crush, tantalizingly rich red.
Nice.
Yeah, and then the other one is it's kind of funny because it's Champagne de la Stomp, but it's stupid because the French is totally wrong. You can't. It's Champagne de Stomp or Champagne
De
le
le.
Stomp because it's
Sounds
champagne
more like
is a-
Latin.
Yeah.
De le
That's
or
yeah.
del.
De la is like you wouldn't say that about it's of the stomp. It's like the champagne of the stomp. It doesn't make any sense. The grammar is wrong, but it's funny because that's actually in the book in the campaign guide,
But
and
it's wrong.
they got the French wrong in the thing, but whatever,
How
doesn't
many
matter.
how many consultants must they have at their disposal? It's like, hey,
This is
anybody
this
here
is
speak
the
French?
most popular number one 5th edition campaign adventure. What are they called? APs, adventure plot, adventure
AP?
path. Jesus, my brain glitched
Adventure
there.
Path.
Adventure path. Yeah, number one best selling one of all. More people play Curse of Strahd than any other 5th edition one, and they still get things wrong. It's notoriously poorly written. It's a shell. It's the bones of a setting, and you really need to put a lot of work into it to make it better. But thankfully, Reddit and other places are out there to do that. So
It's also a great opportunity for you to fill shit in for yourself.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that
like
too.
especially when you got a DM like this guy. You know, wait, hold on. Yeah, I'm pointing the right direction. You got a DM like this guy? Come on, man. He's gonna fill it in with actual red and white wine with his own labels that he had to go and get printed out. Who does
Yeah.
that? Probably not your DM. This guy does, right here. Right
Mhm.
here. You know what else happens in the show? I love it when talent recognizes talent. When this is twice I've seen. This is my last little point here. I just want to
Okay,
scratch off
go
the
for
whole
it.
page. There was one time back. I don't remember which campaign it was, but it was there was like an ogre or something like that, and it was like, oh, how about you? And Matt came in with the I can't even get close to what he
Mm.
does, and he just says something just like, with the super deep voice over the microphone. It was a
Mhm.
live show,
Mhm.
and it just like reverberated throughout the place. And Travis is the deep voice guy,
Yeah.
even though Matt can give him a run for his money for sure. And Travis, like the moment he was like, Jesus, like that
Mhm.
was amazing. I
Yeah.
love it when that happens. The three examples are that one in this episode when Laudna brings out the dog. It's like,
Right.
and it's like,
Right. Mhm.
and Travis was like, Jesus,
Yeah.
again, just like, where's that come from?
Where did that come from? And
Yeah,
Matt's like, she's had this for a while. She's used it several times.
he was
She
just
actually used
impressed
it.
with his voice.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was the awesome part.
Ooh,
And the other third find
blasted.
was the first. I'm pretty sure was I don't remember his first or second campaign, but there was a troll that smelled really bad, and
Mm.
I know that Liam's character and Marisha's character were next to each other. I don't remember which campaign, and they were like, "Make a Constitution saving throw because this motherfucker smells really bad."
Right.
And then Liam just made the pukes. I'm not gonna even try it because it probably won't even pick up either. But he made it like a puking sound, and Marisha was like, "Oh, that was so good."
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
she was disgusted by it. Like she was
Mhm.
almost gonna puke
I
herself.
remember that. I do remember that moment. I think that's campaign 2. I think that's Mighty Nine.
Yeah,
I kind of vaguely remember that one. So it's probably campaign 2.
I just love it when that high talent just recognizes that other high talent right there at
Totally.
that stage.
Totally.
It's just a beautiful thing to watch because they're all so fucking good at what they do.
Hmm.
And
So
that's
good.
that's I cleared the page for the first time in
Nice.
weeks.
Well done, dude.
Man, I
Hmm.
didn't even have to. I just wanted to. Fuck, we're at hour 11. Jeez, man.
Yeah,
We're
let's wrap
pushing
this
it.
up. I gotta go pee.
Yeah, okay. Well, luckily, I don't have anything to promote. So like, follow Ben at bengreenspoon on all socials. I'm on Instagram at drummatucka. It's all in the information down south. Yeah, we had a couple of prompts earlier that I don't remember what the hell they were, but yeah, get in touch in the comments. It's the best way to get in touch with us and have a
Yeah,
conversation
we'll
or
respond. Please do.
request or give a shit or whatever
Yep.
the fuck you want to say. I wanted to say one thing to Intoxicated Conqueror. I'm a big fan of your schedule because I'm jealous of it. Where it's like you get to watch the episode, and then a couple days later, our episode comes out, and you get to listen to us dumbasses talk about this shit. I wish I had that.
Yeah.
And this is one of the reasons we did this is because like we want to talk about it, and we're gonna talk about it anyway. Might
Yeah.
as well put it on and put it public. So Intoxicated Conqueror, I feel you. Please keep in
More.
touch and.
Yeah, keep in touch. We love you.
We're huge fans of your input and everything you say. So thank you very much. A loud shout out to you. And other than that, man, if nothing else, all right. Don't forget to love y'all chuthers. And is that gonna be my catchphrase now?
I think you just made it so.
Shit. All right, I'm sticking with it. Head
Okay.
first.
Roll with it.
Don't forget to.
Whoa.
Yep, that's over 10. That was 11. Don't forget to love y'all chuthers. And is it finally Friday?
Hey.
Peace, everybody. We'll see you next week, right?
I hope so. We'll find out. We hope
Yeah.
there's one more, the last one of the year. No word yet. We'll find out tomorrow. I usually get the email Wednesdays.
Okay. Well, let's hope it's finally Friday.
Yeah. I hope so.
All right. Oh, we
Please.
got a heart in chat from a Hardian. Hey, we love you too. Cheers. Thanks for coming by. All right, we
Thanks,
out.
buddy.
Take care.
Peace.
Boom.